Oh, welcome everybody again to the Old Guard Podcast. It is the only podcast hosted by two OGs dedicated to the preservation of the sanctity of the culture. This is your boy Wally and Rowls, and I'm joined, of course, by my partner in crime, Rose. Yes, sir. Because he is the keeper of civility and order and around these parts whenever I go off the rail. I tend to do that from time to time. Done in a while. When was the last time I just really went off? What was the last hate cast? Yeah. Why is my memory so bad? I'm due for a crash.
I'll see.
I'm trying to make sure you got a job.
Yeah.
Just keep it sharp, homie.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna have to work on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm too calm these days. Yeah, my old age.
Let me get the board ready, cause
You ready?
yeah, cause you already
I'm ready to
you already queuing up.
coach. I'm ready to hate. Put me in, coach.
Yeah, don't you dare, devil.
Oh.
That's terrible.
That's all right. I'll allow it.
You allow it? Okay. That was corny as hell.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey man, listen. We want to talk about the Daredevil. That was well done. Daredevil. My man Matt Murdock on the Disney version of Daredevil. You know, we were always a little concerned about whether or not Disney was going to be able to do what Netflix was able to do.
Right.
And people, and we talk about season 2, obviously.
Right.
But I like season 1. Now there was some differences of opinion.
Yeah.
Around the community, in the geek community, everybody wasn't feeling the first season.
Yeah. The first season, the first season is tough because Netflix had done such a great job fleshing out that character.
Mm-hmm.
So to have it on Disney, people were already, they kind of had their arms halfway folded.
I already seen him joking around with She-Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't ready.
Right. They got the tone right for sure. You can tell, and I can't remember, I didn't do my research here. But I know for a fact that they had some production issues, and I can't remember what caused them. I don't know if it was the writer's strike or whatever, but you can tell in the season where it was like when they were dealing with Muse.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell if he was inserted or they just abruptly ended his story. Like, let's get him killed off and then let's go somewhere else with it. Yeah. And then it was like, well, why did you even go there?
Yeah, I guess we found out kind of later in this.
Sort of, they had to.
Yeah. I was telling Court,
yeah.
I still don't like her character, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Like, she's kind of annoying at this point, but that might be the only blemish that I have, really, for the show. Because I enjoyed the series, man. I particularly enjoy, and this is me in my villain bag again. I appreciate well-written and, antagonists that you can kind of come to understand, why they are who they are, irrespective of the things that they do as a result of being on the other side of the law, as it were. Wilson Fisk, an interesting villain in the Marvel Universe, just to begin with. The street level stuff is working. And so, but when we say street level, for those of you not familiar, when we talk about street level MCE, we're talking about the characters that aren't as otherworldly powerful, right? With these crazy powers, they're more street level stuff, right? Daredevil doesn't really have any super crazy strength. He's just a really good fighter, and he's got heightened senses because of his blindness. Spider-Man is obviously, he kind of rides the line between street level and superpower, because he's a lot stronger than people realize. He's very high on that list, but he's still fighting people at the street level. Like, he's not, tussling with no Magnetos or nothing like that. Like, he's not doing that. The Luke Cages of the world, That's what Punisher. That's what we mean by street level. These people that aren't fighting Doc Doom and stuff. Universe fights.
Right.
So MCU they seem to be they going on all cylinders right now, man. With the street level stuff, and Daredevil is it was excellent to me. I mean, I loved it, and I love Kingpin's character. I love Vincent as playing him. He's an I want to say underrated, but I think enough people know that his acting chops are he should be very well respected. Um, he does work, and for the role he was working out. And I don't know, were you able to tell and whether or not it looked as if he was really performing those boxing moves? It looked to me like he was. I couldn't really tell if there was somebody else in that ring.
I don't think so.
I think he was in there
That was him.
throwing hands.
Yeah.
He's looking impressive, man. And he's a very convincing, and he's a very complex character, man. I enjoy his villain. Very much so.
Yeah.
He's brutal as well. Got a lot of similarity to a certain person out here. He's very well. Let's just get it out there. He's very
Trumpian. Yeah.
Yes, in some of his sensibilities, but still an understandable character. To the point where you kind of still feel where he's coming from, and character development is paramount in this series.
Oh yeah.
They do a very good job of that. And I think that might be why a lot of people when I hear people aren't feeling it, I think it might be going too slow for them in particular because of all the strides that are being taken in terms of making you care and understand these characters and see where they're coming from.
I think one, and I'm speaking about season one, I think the first thing is the original cast. It's just, it's just Matt Murdock that's showing up, and it's almost like he has this new life in season one, and you don't see Foggy and Karen in season one. So I think that was a knock. And then there were a lot of episodes where he wasn't even in the suit. It was more Matt Murdock. Now, I personally enjoyed it. Like when he was in that bank, when they has a bank robbery, I love that episode, man.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people that didn't like that episode.
Because he's not fighting.
Right.
And people won't fight.
Right. But he was using all of his skills to get out of that situation.
That's correct.
He fought a little bit, but not to the level of like,
all want to see that baton, and they want to see
hallway scenes.
That's what they want.
That's what they want to see.
They want
hallway scenes
every 10 minutes. That's what they want. Every 5 minutes.
Right.
It's not good writing, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially, you gotta have some depth. And this is opinion, so shoot.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you just have to have fights have to have a reason.
Correct.
There need to be stakes, not just fighting for the sake of fighting. So I get it if you are one that thirsts for more action more often, you probably won't like Daredevil, especially season one. But I feel like they
did a good job. I will say,
I feel like they gave you what you wanted.
Season two definitely was better than season one.
Yeah.
And I'll be remiss to say, like, we got to talk about the opening. So showing Matt, Karen, and Foggy for those first few minutes was basically Marvel saying, hey, look, we listen to the fans. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like the gang is back, right?
Yeah. We get the band back together.
And then when, Foggy gets shot.
Yeah.
It's like,
we wiping the slate clean, y'all. This ain't Netflix no more.
Right.
Basically.
Well, no, when he got shot, it felt like, okay, the stakes got raised because it's like
sure.
we just got introduced to this guy,
Yeah.
and oh man, he looks like he's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that going to look like for Matt and Karen? And then they go into that, and we find out Bullseye is the person that shot the shot. And that fight,
bro, we gotta talk about that guy, man.
yeah, that fight going through that bar all the way up to the steps, it was almost like they were like, hey, we're gonna show y'all this hallway fight.
Okay, let's go.
But we're gonna just show him and Bullseye. They're equals, and they are like just countering each other and trading blows. And Matt's getting stuck with all kinds of objects. You know, it's like
he was whatever he finds. He's throwing pencils, scissors, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Picks, it don't matter what he's gonna use.
Right.
Dude's
So
awesome, man.
So you know, they're fighting while Foggy is bleeding out. And while they're fighting, Matt is listening for Foggy's heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And they get up to the roof,
Don't.
and his heart stops.
Yeah.
And Matt's like,
I'm done with this.
yeah. And then he throws Wilson off the building, pulls off the building. I was like, oh man.
Yeah. I'm still not sure how Poindexter survived that. He even said I should have died.
Yes.
That like, and that was his whole thing. It was like, okay, this is I'm supposed to make stuff right because this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how he survived either. Like,
Crazy.
yeah. I mean, it was a good.
I am familiar with his power set. I don't know.
I mean, how many stories was that built? I mean, some people,
at least 10. At least. It wasn't a super tall building, but
no, I don't think it was tall, but it was,
yeah. To live.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, he didn't fall for a long period of time.
No, but still, bro,
Yeah,
he hitting pavement.
Yeah, like face first almost.
Yeah, ain't no way.
Yeah, but that was really intense. And
yeah, set up season 1.
Oh man, and like he takes the mask off and he drops it, and it just falls in slow motion, and they go right into the opening credits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, I was geeked. I was like, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. And it took him a minute to get back into the suit because again, that's where the character development comes in, because in the comics, Matt Murdock is always torn. I mean, he's a devout Catholic.
Yes.
So he's always torn with like this guilt.
Yeah.
If somebody died on his watch or he did something, it's like, man, I shouldn't have done that or whatever. He feels immense guilt for it. And they really emphasize that in this season, where he didn't even want to put the suit on. And the more Trumpian Kingpin got, had his form of ICE agents looking for vigilantes.
And them guys are hateful.
Yeah.
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 Very, and the parallels are stunning to where it had to have been deliberate.
Also, I thought it was a brave move. I was surprised.
With Disney, yeah, like I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
If, because
and I guess
everybody's bending the knee these days.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not to really derail off of it, but I do find it interesting that maybe I should be quiet because it maybe feels like a secret. But I find it interesting that they never touch geek culture when they are doing these parallels with Trump. But if Jimmy Kimmel says something, all of a sudden it's like, we got to get him fired and all this stuff. So yeah. I find that interesting because there was some strong parallels. Like, you just trade the AVTF?
Yeah.
With ICE.
I mean, even on Amazon, man, Bezos has bent the knee and the boys are pointing at that guy constantly.
Right. To the point where they're like,
it's blatant.
Well, it's funny. They're like, the writer's like, I'm not enjoying this because it's happening in real life. This is supposed to be make believe.
Yeah.
And Homelander's erecting a golden statue,
Yeah.
but Trump has a golden statue.
They don't. They don't say
Trump, again.
Yeah, we all over the place, right?
Yeah, but I think it's important to the story, but like the whole Trump, doing the AI image of Jesus and all that stuff. Well, in the story in The Boys, Homelander, I'm not gonna get into detail of some. It's funny, but an angel comes to him, and there's a lot of light that's shined on him, and it's similar to what is seen in that Trump image. It's like, what universe are we living in? Is it the real one or geek culture? But getting back to Daredevil, like the way Kingpin is running that city.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Hey, it's similar to how this country's being run.
We snatching you out your homes and separating you from your children. If you got something to say, we coming for you. You know what I'm saying? We knocking people off.
They even had an episode where the white the white tiger in the first season, he gets killed by one of the ATF agents, right? And they even had an episode where his wife gets
snatched up,
put
in a little detention. Yeah,
right.
Separated from.
So it feels very like heavy-handed and obvious.
Very much so.
I'm here for it. I want a solution to it, though. I want it to go away.
Your man Kingpin got elected mayor,
right?
From what from a constituency that are were very MAGA-like, how they acted, how they moved, and things that they said.
People love them.
Felt yes, yeah, he's strong and blah blah blah. And he even, my man Daniel was working for him. He was a stand to the nth degree.
Right.
He could do no wrong, and he wouldn't admit. You know what I'm saying? And he found out too late.
Right.
Kind of glad he got off. I was waiting for him to die a long time.
And I was. It's interesting. Just to stay here for a second, I do find it, I do think it's a brave move, but I also struggle with, will the audience receive it? They're like, hey man, we see that in the news already. I don't want to be reminded of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you feel like you're it's not it's not subtle. Well, maybe it is, but I just feel like we might be more in tune with it.
It definitely
now the ice stuff feels on the nose.
Yes, but it also points out this is evil behavior.
Yes,
on so many levels, and I like that they're drawing that line in the stands.
Right.
In terms of New York, this is evil behavior.
Not, you don't, Safer Streets Initiative. No,
right.
No, you're just giving it a name.
Right.
You're giving lawlessness a name.
Right.
And legitimizing it.
So they're rounding up vigilantes and they're rounding up
people, citizens.
Right.
Whether, you know what I'm saying? So if illegal aliens or not. We rounding you up if we don't. If you don't fit in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. So I always wonder about that. Not to sit there and dwell on it, but I wonder, because the boys definitely do it. Daredevil is
doing it.
Yeah. And I think the more we talk about it, even when we get to the end, it's kind of like, I know we're jumping around, but like even at the end, it was like felt very like a reverse January 6th kind of situation.
It was.
Right. And then they used that to like have the hero say, this is not how we behave. This is not how we
do things. In the right side. This is served.
Right.
That's correct.
Right.
Like everything that they wanted to do to Kingpin was justified.
Right.
But again, as you pointed out, with he is not for like killing and inflicting harm, with the intent to kill or any of that.
I think they did a good job of showing that, developing his character in
did.
that way,
They did.
because even though Wilson survived,
Yeah.
Matt was trying to kill him. He's like, "I'm throwing you off the roof. You took my homie out.
Yeah.
Like, you're gone. Like, and when he realized that I went to that, went that far with it,
That's
where he pulled all the way back and said, "Yeah, I can't do this.
Can't do this anymore."
Right. And then I think he recognized, even when he got back to fighting as Daredevil, he realized, okay, yes, I'm fighting against Kingpin, but this got to stop.
Yeah.
And I like that he approaches Kingpin and says, "Look, man, I don't want to fight you no more. I don't know if he was just tired, but he's like, me and you are the problem.
Yeah.
And in order for us, I also think they did a good job of showing that even though Kingpin kept saying he loves the city and he was doing these things for the city. So they try to paint that spectrum of like, okay, well, he loves the city, but Matt also loved the city.
Correct.
And just showing the dichotomy of that.
Like,
is,
you can love something
and do
be
wrong.
toxic.
Right.
You can be treating whoever or whatever it is you love with disrespect.
Right.
Right. Regardless of what you're saying. Say you feel.
Yeah. So I think season 2 did a good job of at least setting the tone for it. It definitely had its flaws. On how they wrapped some of it up, I do like, the introduction of, I like that Karen's back in his life.
Karen's a monster.
Yeah. I did, and this is a minor dig, but Matt was so involved with, the other lady. What was her name?
The new Fisk,
Heather Glenn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They just made it sound like
he had a full-blown relationship with her.
It's like
He's almost like, who is her?
Right.
Yeah, but they kept her in to do the whole Muse thing.
Yeah.
And that was a little shaky.
Now she's just this problematic, mentally ill, PTSD, stressed out.
Right.
Yeah, through trauma. Yeah, she's
I mean, I like the actress. I just think the Muse storyline is just, they need to purge that from, it's not working, I don't think.
She put the mask on and everything, man.
Yeah, towards the end, yeah. I will say I liked first season because Frank Castle was in there. This season they didn't. They were using Frank Castle's headquarters because the city's under siege.
Yes.
So they were hiding pretty much.
Yep.
I did like that. I was wanting Daredevil. I was wanting Punisher to come back so bad.
Well, he did. It's not in the show.
Right.
He got one last kill.
Yeah, he did.
For those of y'all who've seen that.
Right. Yeah. I like. Was it Swordmaster? What is his name? The sword guy.
Man, what are you talking
about? This guy here.
Oh,
I'm embarrassed. Jack Duquesne.
Who are you talking about? Jack Duquesne. What was his name in there? The rich guy.
Right.
I'm up again. Yeah, the swordsman, the Frenchman with the rapier.
Right.
He's like that fencing style that he uses.
Right. Swordsman. This is his name. Swordsman.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I thought it was something else.
Yeah, Swordsman.
Well, they keep it real simple.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was something.
That's why I'm forgetting, because it was all. Yeah. It was.
Really?
It's Swordsman.
Are we sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Swordsman. Well, he was dope, but he didn't really have a lot. Well, actually, he did play a role in one of them. Yeah, he was getting it in.
And I like the tissue because he was in Hawkeye. They introduced Hawkeye.
Correct.
And they brought him into that. He was the New York elite
level stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Rich guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like how they set everything up. I think like if they took the Muse storyline out, I would have been happier with it. Um, you know, the White Tiger, I felt like needed a little bit more development because the White Tiger and the guy, the first season, his daughter ends up taking the mantle.
That's not his niece.
Or maybe his niece. Sorry. His
I mean, he
niece.
kept calling it. That was her T.O.
Right. Yeah. The niece gets the amulet and
She about that word though. She is serious.
yeah.
She's not playing.
Right. Yeah. So it was almost like they formed a little team there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love I like the CIA tissue that's getting laid, like with Mr. Charles. We don't know what his actual character is.
He was employing my man Cage.
Yes.
Cage, and they brought him back. I bet
Right.
it was good to see Jessica Jones.
Yes.
And Luke Cage at the end. Like we suspected that that's who the little child's dad was, right? We kind of, based on comics and what we know and how she looked, right? Like we could tell like she was, of mixed race. And so it was like, I bet there's daughter.
In another, when they play with multiverse, she ends up becoming Captain America in another universe.
Really?
Yeah. She takes on the shield and wears the costume as Captain America.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. I mean, she got the, powers of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones somehow. So
that's pretty OP.
Right.
On a street level, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we like the introduction of Luke Cage with the hope that we will get some, a return of yet another Netflix classic character. Bring back Cottonmouth.
How do you bring back?
I don't know. Oh no. Well, I miss Mahershala, man. Where he at? He said Blade fell through the floor.
Yeah.
You gotta bring it back in some capacity.
Yeah. But yeah, I like they are really doing a good job of introducing street level characters when it makes sense. Not just we're just gonna throw them in here just for the sake of throwing them in there. And I feel like that's where the greater MCU kind of fails. Sometimes they just wedge somebody in there that's like, well, what do they have to do with the story? Yeah.
But this Doomsday about to be some boo-boo. I've said it already once before. I'm saying it again.
Okay.
Boo-boo.
Boo-boo. I haven't seen it yet.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah.
Spaghetti on the wall, bro.
Not gonna pass judgment. Yeah. Staying on Daredevil then. Street level MCU.
Well, man,
stay in New York City.
Now, I'll say this since we talking about it.
Right.
I didn't know how excited after that last Spider-Man movie, man. I don't know. I wasn't feeling that last Spider-Man movie like that. Story-wise. I like the action in 3 Spider-Men. I loved it, but that story was trash, and I was concerned, and I wasn't really excited about this next one. But now, knowing what I know now, and how things are coming together, and based on this series and other things that I've seen on the street level with the MCU, this Spider-Man might mess around and be my favorite one if they do it properly.
Right.
So I can't wait.
So I know we've been talking about Daredevil Born Again season 2, but like what would you say are the strengths of it? Like, I know we've been bouncing around, like, what are the core strengths of it? Is it the character development? What else?
It's always the character development for me.
Okay.
Because you got to get it back and understand, especially with Kingpin, you got to understand why he is what he is and what he values and why he does the things he does because of his love for whatever that is, be it his wife or the city or whatever it is. There's no halfway with him.
Right.
But what I really like about Daredevil across all seasons, be it Netflix or Disney, is that he Daredevil is human on every level, emotionally, mentally, and man, physically. Daredevil just don't be wiping the floor with people.
Right.
Like he takes hits, he's injured,
Takes
like,
damage.
yeah, but he perseveres,
Yes.
irrespective of, like, you
Right.
know what I'm saying, like that, and that is life, bro. You know what I'm saying? No matter how good you are at whatever, life is going, bring you some roadblocks, some trials, and you gotta push through.
Right.
And he's like motivated by whatever that catalyst is. Now
He's relatable because
he's very relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
'Cause,
word.
I mean, we get challenges in life,
That's it.
and it's like, okay, what are you gonna do to overcome?
Because too often, even on the street level stuff with Spider-Man and let's say Luke Cage, man, they ain't having no problems.
Right.
They wiping the floor.
Right.
Like when Daredevil is finished fighting, that man is spent.
Right.
He's been shot. He had to, you know what I'm saying? He limping around and he got to recover, but he's gonna be back. You know what I mean? Like it's still not gonna change how he moves. But yeah, I like the humanity of that part. And in the Marvel universe, he's just so used to Captain America never taking no damage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's never, like, if it is 10 folks he's fighting, he laying them all down and he's not taking no hits. Daredevil is vulnerable.
Yeah. I like the touch of he painted his suit black.
Yeah.
The red suit black.
Yeah.
In each episode that he's fighting, he's taking damage.
Right.
And the suit is showing it.
Yep.
And I think that's just a
And
beautiful
the red,
touch.
yeah, and now it's coming, it's coming through.
Right.
It's like almost bleeding through.
Right. I'm not trying to derail here,
I made a thing.
but I feel like that little touch is going to be the last time we see like costume design taken seriously, because they just let go of like Andy Park and that whole team that designed the costumes.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I'm sure they're going to hire them back as freelance.
that AI men.
Yeah, yeah. But I just like that realistic touch there. But getting back to it, I had to slide that in there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
It bothers me that
Yeah, better.
yeah, it just bothers me that they're not understanding the value of what that team brings to these shows and
Movies, for sure.
getting these characters looking, their costume is like comic accurate, but also works for live action. It doesn't look silly and look like they just put pantyhose on and just sprayed it red.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But yeah, man, I agree with you. The character development was one. The way that they weave the tissue in,
Yeah.
the MCU tissue was well placed.
Yeah.
I love that. Kingpin's Vincent D'Onofrio's
Yeah,
performance.
he's Kingpin, man. Like
Yeah. He bodied that role.
yeah.
I feel like all the characters were really well done. I like Heather Glenn's character. I just don't like the Muse. Like Muse is about the only person I was like, yeah, get him out of here. But yeah, I like the cast. I like the stakes that were here in season 2. They seem to get grounded with the stakes. Loved Bullseye.
Man, he's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how he survived that fall, but it's funny what we can
excuse
pretty much.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
should die.
Yeah. But I do like, it seems as if they're going to do something interesting with Matt in jail.
Yeah,
And again, this is me
hoping.
I don't want to say
a theory on what you thought was gonna happen.
So they show the Spider-Man brand new day
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
Spider-Man has no business fighting the Hand. The Hand is clearly a Daredevil enemy.
Daredevil enemy.
They are literally just like doing the airplane sequence. Like, hey, Daredevil's gonna be in this boot
pretty much
somewhere.
obvious. That's why I said I'm excited.
Spider-Man is.
That's why
They show a fight scene of Spider-Man in jail fighting the Hand. It's like, okay, what? How?
Like it's obvious. Yeah. That's why I was saying I'm excited about Spider-Man.
Right, and then Punisher's in it.
Yes, all this stuff is like, man, Spider-Man movie gonna be the greatest one they made.
Yeah, and then like it seems, I would say the only good thing I can say from No Way Home is it No Way Home or Far From? No, it's No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah, because
Far From Home's good.
yeah, the only thing from No Way Home is they seem to take Spider-Man down to the MCU level. Yeah, the street level.
Yeah.
Come
on back.
Yeah, so
let Stark go and be Spider-Man.
So I like the placement of the timing of Daredevil Born Again season 2. I like the rollout. Now I think Punisher One Last Kill was a one shot that was very short.
Yeah.
He deserves a movie, by the way. But I like the rollout of season 2 Punisher, and then I see Punisher in Spider-Man. So it kind of naturally gets you ready.
And it
feels
still more
intentional.
street-level characters to be excited about. Like,
Right.
Like we still got Jessica Jones. We see Luke is back now. It's like,
Right.
man, here we go.
Right. And now let me be clear. I'm not excited about Doomsday, but it seems like they are trying to get characters on the big chessboard, maybe for Doomsday, but I do like the fact that they are definitely using Daredevil to flesh out the street level MCU.
Yes. Yep.
I like Jack Discane's character because he could just show up one day and he's like in the suit fighting.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that would be dope. You know, are they gonna put Danny Rand in it? You know, like later on.
It'll work, man.
Yeah.
It'll work. You
Yeah.
got a lot of trust to earn back, bro.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so I mean, those are the things that I like about it. It feels like everything is intentional. Getting into the flaws, well, let's talk about the ending. Like the ending was a little wobbly.
Yeah, Kingpin killed a lot of folk, and he's not in jail, but Daredevil is in jail for exposing a murderous, gun-running criminal. I didn't understand. I mean, I guess justice, yeah. If you're gonna lock one up, they both got. I mean, you can't have Daredevil sitting in jail, especially after you know what you know about him. He helped bring a ruthless killer to justice.
He did attempt murder.
Kingpin murder.
I know.
That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying. So they at least both need to be in jail.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and there was a storyline where both of them were in jail. There was a storyline where both of them were in jail. You know, but I think the court. I guess to touch on this before we really get into flaws, I thought the courtroom, how that played out in the courtroom was great. And I think people are going to disagree. They're like, I just want Daredevil to fight Kingpin.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, you got that. They fought before.
Right.
Fought the episode before.
Right.
That's what you got.
Yeah. I love the Easter eggs in there. Like even down to the shadow on Kingpin's face. It was like straight off of a comic book cover, Devil's Reign comic book. But yeah, the ending felt wobbly. Like he didn't go to jail. At first I thought, okay, they were just showing like, okay, well, this is in Kingpin's mind, but it's like, no, he's actually on a beach.
Yeah, no,
he took a plea deal from this
that don't work. No, that doesn't work. Like yeah, man, you supposed to do time.
So I guess his influence is still keeping him out of jail.
Right.
But that's not a win for anybody. Like Matt Murdock didn't do all of that for that.
Right. Did Buck die? Kingpin's right-hand man? He took a bullet and he was bleeding out.
See anything?
Yeah, they just didn't even bother. You know, yeah, and then the the lady putting the Muse mask on, and I was like, I don't want to see Muse again. The ending where everybody's rushing to Kingpin, now, it definitely felt like he was having his Darth Vader moment at the end of Rogue One, where he's in the hallway and he's like, "We all don't love me anymore."
Yeah,
He was killing people.
man, ruthlessly too, bro. I'm talking about people died hard in that hallway, man.
Right.
Golly.
Right, but
Bang.
I think where I struggle is like January 6th is burned in my brain, right?
Yes.
So to see the people in New York, I don't know. It's interesting how they wrote that, because it's like the people in New York put on the Daredevil mask and they're wearing all red and they're like, "We want justice," like Daredevil wants justice, and they were stumping my man out, stumping Kingpin out.
They're trying to kill him.
Yeah, and that was brutal. And he killed people, so it's kind of like, well, okay, stomp them out. You know what I'm saying? But Daredevil and Jessica Jones running in, I don't know. It just felt funny to me. I can't put my finger on it. It just,
I don't know. I wouldn't have just watched the people as Daredevil. Like, well, watched. You wouldn't have watched these people. Wait, I think I just would have stood by and listened to this stomping.
right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't hurt anything for me. I guess it could have ended a little bit better. I think all would have been forgiven for me if Kingpin would have found himself in that jail. I mean, there's ways to get him out of the jail.
Right.
He got to do time, bro. Like, I mean, Matt Murdock did a lot of work. The man outed himself.
Right.
To put this man in jail, and now he's on the beach. Nah, I didn't like that either. For sure.
Yeah, it was. Do you think it undoes the season though, with that ending?
No, but it is a pretty glaring. It keeps it from being an excellent series, I guess. You know what I mean? But yeah, it feels like they ran out of money. I don't know what you couldn't.
They didn't run out of money. It was like
you could have just it wasn't even that. You could have just put him in jail. Put him in jail.
I think now that I'm really thinking about it, here's where I sometimes have a problem with Marvel. I think at the last minute they decide, place him here, do that. Kingpin can't be in jail because we want him to be here, so he needs to be on the beach.
Well, you can get him to the beach somehow.
I know, it's just, I feel like that's their only opportunity to do it, because the next, I don't know what Spider-Man Brand New Day is gonna bring.
Yeah, sure.
But
he can't be in New York, I guess.
And the same problem I have with, like, they still haven't explained how Kingpin survived a gunshot to the face.
That was Hawkeye, at the end of Hawkeye, right?
At the end of Hawkeye, and then they got into Echo. They never explained it.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't.
That's still my issue with Marvel. I feel like there's this like evolving storyline, and they just don't know how to
wrap it up.
They don't know how to wrap it up, or just say, well, hey, just tie it up. Yeah. Just tie it up and have a thread out there. It's kind of like, no, have the whole tissue roll laid out where, well, we know Kingpin's not in jail, obviously. And it's like, but he killed a bunch of people.
A lot of people.
Right. He had the city under siege. He should be in jail.
It was proven.
Right.
Those were his guns on the thing, and he blew the ship up.
Yeah.
Proven.
Yeah.
He murdered people.
Yeah.
There was people on the dock Those folks died.
Yeah.
A lot of Russians died, like workers.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of people. He's on the beach.
Yeah. Kind of happens in real life though, but gives second chances. Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't think they were trying to.
No, but the
imply that.
similarities are there.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
that is the truth. With enough power,
Yeah.
influence.
That was my only complaint about the season. Other than that, I love the season. It was appointment viewing for me.
For sure.
I would, if you've listened to this podcast, we've spoiled a lot, but I would suggest going and watching Born Again. Give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
To those that hadn't watched it, of
Mhm.
course. But yeah. I'm excited for Daredevil. I want to see the transition from TV show to movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done it. They've teased it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because Matt Murdock has been in a Spider-Man movie,
Mm-hmm.
but have this dude really in the movie fighting,
Mm-hmm.
would just be amazing. It seems like Punisher is gonna have a lot of real
Have a
estate.
little bit. Yep.
Yeah, so
Level. I'm here for it, man.
yeah, but I'm a little worried because they haven't explained who the characters are, but it seems it still has that Marvel kind of like we're getting away from street level. It's starting to elevate to some,
Universe conquering kind
Yes.
of. Yeah.
yeah, but Marvel street level right now,
Cook.
it's cooking. Please, Marvel execs, please keep street level.
Getting somebody in their writer's room in apron and a chef's hat. Cooking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an acronym,
What?
Yeah. Make
Oh,
M street. I don't know. I just can't do it.
you know what we want.
Yes.
Just, I spell it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Marvel needs. They need a foundation at street level
Yeah, man.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Marvel got a success off this one. I have to admit. The luster for Marvel has definitely been tarnished in the past few films, and this made me excited again.
Yeah.
For possibilities in MCU.
Yeah.
As a whole, I'm still not. I am scared for Doomsday. I'll be completely honest with you.
It's gonna be terrible.
Okay, I didn't say that, but I'm concerned.
Nah, you're
Going
in with low expectations.
Yeah.
So your feelings are hurt. My expectations will be very low. Yar, matey.
Oh no.
Yar.
The views.
Yar, matey.
Thanks for that cue.
Ogar Podcast on Instagram and everywhere else. You know where we at, man. Holla at you. Yar, matey.